Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host, Scotty McCoy, and boy, do I have another surprise for you. This is my second interview today, and my guest is none other than former WWE Superstar. Watch the video package, and then you can see who it is. See you soon. That's right, everyone. My guest is former WWE Superstar James Ellsworth. Hey, James, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm just hanging in there like everybody else during this pandemic, as I like to call it. So I'm good.
That's good. Yeah, this pandemic is kind of a mess. It really is. But I'm so glad to have you as my guest. I really am super excited to interview you. Like we were talking about beforehand, we actually met at a Pop and Comic Con. I was there with my film company, and I got to meet you there. And I was like, I have to interview James Ellsworth. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. I remember we had I was there with Crime Time, Chad, who unfortunately passed away, and my buddy JTG, who I just talked to yesterday. And yeah, so that was the last, I think one of the last times I saw Shad. So I remember that everything about that day because it's just one of those things. You know?
And it's funny because I actually interviewed JTG last week or the week before, which is pretty cool. That was pretty cool getting to catch up with him.
Buddy of mine, yeah.
Yeah, so the first question I have is, how did you get your start into professional wrestling?
So I graduated high school when I was 17, and 4 days later, I went to wrestling school at Baltimore. It was called Bone Breakers. And I just started 4 days after I walked off the stage at graduation and immediately went to wrestling school.
That's awesome. So cool. So how did your tenure with the WWE come about, and how was Vince as a boss?
Vince, he's a genius, and he was very nice to me. He gave me a lot of good pointers. He was a big fan of my work. That's how I got the job doing the Braun Strowman match. Vince just saw something in me after that match, after the promo and the selling and the facial expressions and all. And he hired me, and I'll always appreciate him as a boss. He's all business. And I mean, like I said, he gave me some good pointers. He always complimented my work. And I really had a good time working for him.
That's awesome. So how'd you get the call with the WWE, like to do your scenes with Braun Strowman and all that, your matches with him?
So when you're an independent wrestler, anytime WWE's around your area, you can actually email them to be an extra.
Right.
And, an extra consists of doing a job like I do with Braun Strowman, or being like a security guard, or being, like a fake security guard on TV, or playing the role of a security guard, or playing the role of a doctor, or playing a role of just somebody that's staying backstage, or like they used to have the Rosebuds or the, so you could be anything. Yeah. And, anytime they came around my area, I set my stuff, and, lo and behold, that was that particular day in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I got to wrestle Braun Strowman, and the rest is history, I guess they could say.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. It's funny because you mentioned about like even the Rosebuds. Like, look at Braun Strowman. He got a start as a Rosebud. Really?
Yeah. It's so in NXT, they're all signed, training at the Performance Center. Me, I was just a journeyman wrestler, independent wrestler, and like I said, I owe it to Vince. He saw something in me, and
that's awesome.
Gave me a nice couple of years there.
Right, that's really great. So part of being the WWE roster, obviously, there's that grueling travel schedule. So, do you have any road stories you'd like to tell us about?
Trying to think of some that I can say on air. I love traveling to this day. I still, do as many independent wrestling shows as possible. I just did one in Oklahoma Sunday. I remember one time we were somewhere. It might have been like, Nebraska or something, and I was at a Texas Roadhouse just eating by myself. I needed a day to myself. Like I would sometimes travel with Rhino or Shinsuke Nakamura, Mojo Riley, or referee Rudy Charles. But this particular day, I was like, I'm gonna just relax by myself. And I'm eating at Texas Roadhouse by myself, and I see Baron Corbin walking with Tyler Breeze and Ty Dillinger, who is now Sean Spears. And I remember I ordered Baron Corbin, because Baron Corbin and I used to joke with each other. I ordered him something, and I left. so he had to pay for whatever I ordered him. and I saw him at the arena later that day, and he was like, "You little bastard!" Like, he laughed about it. It was funny.
That's funny. That's hilarious. So what was it like being part of the WWE locker room, and who was the backstage leader?
So, it's crazy to like I was a part of SmackDown 2016, 17, and partially in 2018. I would call AJ Styles the leader. I mean, anytime
Right.
John Cena was there, we all looked up to him. But like,
Right.
we really didn't have like this conquering leader. Everybody was, very
Mm-hmm.
complimentary of each other and helped each other out.
Right.
And that's the way it was, man. Like that's why I think that era, SmackDown 2016 and 2017,
Mm-hmm.
is one of the best eras ever. Not just because I was there, but it was such a good show, such a good crew,
Right.
especially June
Mm-hmm.
2016 to April 2017. It was an awesome crew, and we didn't really look at anybody's like, this is our conquering hero leader, but
Right.
you had your AJ Styles, who was the champion, and Randy Orton, just guys that you
Right.
could talk to. But man, there was nobody like, I'm the captain,
Right, exactly. So there are obviously stories told about like ribs that happen backstage between superstars. So do you have any stories about being ribbed or doing any ribs to your fellow peers?
Well, I just told one I ribbed Baron Corbin, bought him something in Texas or else. There was not a
Right.
lot of ribbing when I was there.
Okay.
Not much. Like we were on a tour bus in the UK, and Daniel Bryan told the whole tour bus before Kane got on. He's like, Kane's the we're gonna call him the King, King Kane, and every day you must give Kane your lotion from your hotel room, a little bottle of lotion. So every day we came on the bus and would have to give him our lotion from our hotel room. So by the end of the tour, he had, maybe 400 bottles of lotion.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I can only imagine.
And Daniel Bryan, I talked about it on my ride along with Daniel Bryan on WWE Network. He ribbed Cade so much. God, it was funny. Hilarious.
Nice. I don't know if I checked that one out. I did check out a lot of the ride-alongs, but then there's like so much content that gets on there. But now I didn't even know you were actually on a ride-along, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna actually watch that now. I'm gonna go back and watch that tonight.
Yep, Daniel Bryan and I.
That's awesome. It's so cool. So uh, uh my buddy, I've been good friends with him for about at least 13 years now, I'd say. He lives in England. I never met him a day in my life. We met in a wrestling group chat on Fun Trivia, and he's going to shit his pants that I'm mentioning his name right now. But his name is Darren Hewitt, and he told me to ask this question. And I'm like, that's a good idea. So, what was it like being part of the first women's Money in the Bank ladder match, helping Carmella win the briefcase? And what was your initial thought when you were told this was going to happen?
I was like, this is great, because we always knew we were going to do the second Money in the Bank women's ladder match the following week on SmackDown. So I was like, oh man, this is going to create so much controversy. This is going to give Carmella and I the heat she needs to move forward with her career. I said, this is the perfect finish. And I thought that, and it was so good. And, people always talk about, oh man, they buried it online. It's only really 10% of wrestling fans comment online. Like there's 90% that don't say anything, that are very appreciative and just enjoy the product. And it worked, because we popped the rating the following week with SmackDown. Our ratings went up like 400,000 people just for that second ladder match. Yeah.
That's awesome. And Carmella, she's a great heel. Like she really did what she needed to do. And with you by her side, you really elevated her. Like I see it from a fan's perspective of, there's the heel, the babyface type of thing. And then I see it from the person that that wants to hate them and loves to hate them. And like every time you would get involved in Carmella's matches, like I loved you as a wrestler. I appreciated your work, but I hated you on there because you did what you had to do. You did your job.
Well, that's what a heel's supposed to do is get people not to like them. Like I hate heels that, I don't say the word hate, but I don't agree with like they flip around, and nobody wants to boo somebody who can do a bunch of flips.
Exactly.
Like if I'm a bad guy, man, I would have just make people just want to see me get my ass whipped, and that's what I'm doing. Like Carmella now, like she's had her truth. She's got the new guy with her. like I think should be standing on her own now, like doing her
Yeah.
own thing, especially
Yeah.
with this untouchable character she's doing. And I think she will. I think like the Samir thing's only for a short period of time, and I think she will stand on her own. And I think it's time for her to.
Yeah, I
So.
agree with that completely. Now, did you have any like serious injuries in your wrestling career that you needed like any type of surgeries or anything?
Oh, well, it's funny because my catchphrase is "Any man with two hands has a fighting chance," and I've actually broke both of my hands before, not at the same time, but both of them have been broken, and I've had surgery and screws put into both of them.
Wow, crazy.
And
It's a very brutal industry. It seems like it would be something fun to do to entertain the fans and everything, but it takes a toll not just on your body physically, but even mentally. Like it's really brutal.
yeah, I keep it positive. It is a lot on your body and your mind, but with both, I keep it positive. Like my body, it does hurt, but
Yeah,
I know that's the sacrifice I made to live out my dream. And as far as like the mentality, like I always think of, man, I lived my dream. I got to travel the world. I'm
right.
financially stable. Like I met my fiance because of wrestling. I've had my kids because of somebody I
Yeah,
met through wrestling. So I just think very positively, and so my mentality never really changes, which is a blessing.
exactly. And I mean, not a lot of people can say they were a WWE superstar, and you have that bragging right, so to speak. Like you can say, "Hey, I wrestled for the WWE," and I would love to
Yeah,
see you back there too. It would be amazing.
I always tell people I'm sure at some point they'll bring me back to do something. You
Yeah,
never say never. I mean, there's guys on there now that were gone 9, 10 years, like John Morrison, Shelton Benjamin,
yeah,
MVP.
exactly.
So you just I mean, Gilbert at one time from 2003 to 2017, that's a 14-year stretch, didn't make any appearances. And now he made one in 2017. He recently just made one a couple of weeks ago. So
Yeah,
you just never know. I mean, the Royal Rumble's coming around. I could be in the Rumble this year. I could be in it next year. I could be in it 5 years from now. You just don't know.
right. That would be so. I would pop so hard at just seeing you in that entering that Royal Rumble match. That would be so cool.
Never
Hey, it's
know.
the Sunday. So let's see. So can you tell the fans what it's like putting together a wrestling match from the psychology to the move sets and everything in between?
Man, it just really depends on what crowd you're trying to entertain. Every crowd's
Hmm.
different, and putting together a match, it's just like putting together a movie or a sitcom or a play. You have your parts, like who's the
Hmm.
heel, who's the baby face, what story are we telling? Do we hate each other? This is our first time wrestling each
Hmm.
other. Are we fighting for an opportunity? Are we fighting for a championship? It's so many variables go into putting together a
Right,
match. So there's a lot that goes into it, and
right.
I really enjoy doing it.
That's awesome. So speaking about the crowd and everything, which crowd do you think is the most vocal that you wrestled in front of?
Man, Chicago was awesome.
Chicago is what came to mind for me.
Oh man, anytime we went there, it's crazy. So Backlash 2017, I was a heel with Carmella. I came out and God, they booed me out of the building.
Right.
And fast forward to June of 2018, 13 months later, I came back and took the Oscar mask off in the same arena, went nuts. So
Nice.
it's so funny. Like
Nice.
I think they just appreciated the James Ellsworth character. Like they
Right.
really hated him at one point, and then when I left for 7 months, they missed me. And when I came back, they were like, "Oh my god!" Like
That's so
it's
cool.
absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Exactly. And were you like that was in Chicago, right? That was those events. Yeah. All right. And the last question I got for you is basically for you to hype up your social media, any websites, any appearances, gigs, events that you're going to be at in the coming for anybody to meet you at, anything like that.
Yeah, so you can check me out on Twitter at Real Ellsworth, on Instagram at James Ellsworth Wrestling. Buy a
Awesome.
Cameo, cameo.com.
There you go.
Search James Ellsworth. I love doing cameos. I have a lot of fun doing those. So check
That's
those
awesome.
out. And yeah, man, I got some upcoming appearances. I'm doing a virtual meet and greet this Saturday with my buddy Gilbert. Check out my social media. It's 4 p.m. on this Saturday. We'll be doing
Okay.
it on my Instagram. So
Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you so much for your time, though. I'm glad we got to make this happen.
yeah, man. Hopefully, when the pandemic's over, pandemic as I like to call it. I run Adrenaline Championship Wrestling, and we run Hanover, Pennsylvania, not too far from Harrisburg. I know
Awesome.
you're Maryland now, but in
Yep.
Woodlawn. So, and then
Yeah.
we also run Glen Burnie. maybe we'll check out Woodlawn. It might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, it's not bad either. Hey, I'd definitely be there. Bring me in the ring though. Get me some cheers.
It's scary being in the ring. Let me tell you.
I know. Tell me about it. But yeah, thank you so much, and definitely keep me updated if you have something in Woodlawn or even Glen Burnie. Glen Burnie's only 20 minutes from me, and I work in Glen Burnie. Like my office is down there now. I telework, but my office is down in Glen Burnie. If you have something going on down there, just let me know. I definitely show up.
Where's your office?
I work at down. It's by Curtis Bay. It's maybe a mile away from the Coast Guard Yard.
I know where it's at.
Yeah, I'm on East Ordnance Road. I work.
Cool. Yeah, I went to that Walmart today.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm literally like maybe a mile and a half from the Walmart is where my office is.
I was there today, actually. That's funny. But all right, man, take care. God bless you.
All right.
Stay safe.
Yep.
Remember,
You too.
That's funny.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. And you have a good rest of your day. Stay safe. Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Bye.